Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 48 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on my writing. And today I kind of deviated a little bit from that. Today is Sunday, and I just kind of felt like today is a day for rest, and I chose to rest most of today, and now I'm up really late and not sure how I'm going to sleep tonight. I went to church and then I came home and I took a nap and then I got up and I went to dinner at my parents' house and then I came home and watched Christmas movies and worked on a project for my brother's Christmas present, homemade Christmas present. And of course, I think I got more distracted by the movie and didn't get as much of the project done. Um, I'm like, hey, I'm ready to go to bed. And I was like, oh, yeah, I still haven't written in my journal or done any writing tonight or any of those other things. So, or my video. So I started writing in my journal, which I'm grateful to have been able to write in my journal. Had some very nice things to write about for today, some memories, things. Um, anyway, spiritual things I needed to write down, which I'm grateful for. And then as I was getting towards the end of my journal entry, I was like, I need to write something tonight, and what am I going to write? And I'm so tired. And I had this idea pop into my head to write a poem. And I did that like last week, I think, too. Because I randomly think Sundays are, because it's a day of rest, we're not supposed to work on Sundays. And I know I've committed to write for 100 days. And at some point, I actually want to make money off of my books and my YouTube videos and things like that. So I don't know how that works as far as not working on Sundays. But I also feel like this is something I'm supposed to be doing. So it's kind of one of those, I don't know, spirit of the law versus letter of the law, crazy things. And most of the time I'm okay with it. I don't even think about it. I just do it because that's what I committed myself to do. And then every once in a while I'll have days like today where I'm just like, and maybe it's because I just don't want to face working on my writing or something else that's going on or whatever it is. I don't know. But it's the end of the night and I want to go to bed, which I was like, okay, but I can't without doing my video. And it's day 48. So it would be very sad to just stop because I know if I stop, I don't know when I'll start again. I know I will start again because that just seems to be the pattern in my life that I will start and stop my writing multiple times, just like I start and stop writing in my journal multiple times. But it's not something I can ever just walk away from permanently because it's a part of who I am. It's how I process things. It's what I do. And it's like, this is a commitment that I've made. And not that YouTube videos was ever one of those things I thought I was going to be doing. Not necessarily my favorite thing ever, but um, it is something that I'm doing. And so tonight, as I was journaling, like I said, I had the idea to write a poem, but it's not one of those specific like name poems. You know how you like have a friend or something and you just write up their name. I learned it like in school. I'm sure lots of you know what I'm talking about, where you just write out the name and then you come up with a word that describes that person for each letter of their name. So I I always do that for other people. And tonight I decided to do it for myself. So I did a poem that says Midge Shoemaker. I just wrote out Midge Shoemaker and then came up with the words for each one of them. And then for each one that I did, I had a, well, it was the third one I did, and I had a random thought to like explain the one. And then I started like having random thoughts to explain the rest of it. So it's kind of a interesting poem, my own little random version. And I tried to do block letters, but I'm not very good at it. And I don't know that you can actually like see all of my poem in my horrible handwriting. So I'm going to attempt to read it. So I apologize. I will not be looking at the camera while I do this because I'm going to look at my paper. And I may or may not explain all of these, but I'm going to start anyway. I put marvelous because who doesn't want to be a superhero? I always consider myself, I always think when I'm overwhelmed or people are asking me to do a bunch of stuff, I'm like, great, they think I'm Wonder Woman. I'm Wonder Woman, right? And then you have the Marvel comics with all the superheroes. So anyway, that's my random twisted humor. So marvelous because who doesn't want to be a superhero? And then I put incredible because I'm always stretching myself to do and be better. In The Incredibles, the stretching, anyway. As you can see, I have a random theme. It only lasts for those two. Darling, because I always want to be darling. Um, and then And darling is just like a thing in my head where I always figured if I got married, had a significant other, they would always refer to me as darling. I think it's something from Lady and the Tramp, but I just always like that. I want to be darling. I know I'm going way into too much detail explaining each one of these, but not in the poem. The poem just says darling because I always want to be darling. The next one says grandiose because I'm always over the top. That explains itself. Extreme because I always go to the extremes. Why not? Stunning. Look at me, darling. I'm stunning. I'm just in a very playful mood tonight. Hilarious because I laugh at my own jokes. Outstanding because I'm learning to stand out. Extraordinary or extraordinary, however you want to say it, because ordinary is boring and I am anything but that. Make believe because I live in my own made up world. Amazing because I'm always telling my son he's amazing and he has to get it from somewhere. Kind because I am one of a kind. Endearing because I hold the people I love close to my heart, and I hope I do things that make myself endearing to them as well. Regal because I am a daughter of God, and that makes me royalty. That is my writing that I did today. So now you have a sample of my random poetry. Not quite the same thing I did a week or so ago that was more just complaining because I didn't want to do this. This was just actually kind of fun. And I think it's good to do fun little exercises or writing exercises to take a break from the story that you're working on or just from life in general, to have a good laugh, to have some fun, to enjoy life. And for me, it was nice to just kind of sit and think, okay, I always think of nice things for other people or about other people. But when do I ever stop and list all the nice qualities that I have in myself or the good things that I see about myself? And so this was fun tonight to write. And when I thought of other things like ordinary, I can't do ordinary because that's not very nice, or ornery, because even though it sounds like it wouldn't start with an O, it does. Struggling with coming up with an O word. What did I come up with? Outstanding. I like that one better. But I didn't want to do something that was plain or boring. I wanted to do something fun that describes me in a nice way and not in a not nice way. Something that I can go back and look at and say, this is how I see myself. Maybe this is how God sees me. Maybe this is how all of you watching these videos see me. Or maybe you're just like, okay, that's how she sees herself. She's a little crazy. However you want to view it, I don't know. But it was nice to be nice to myself today. It was nice to get some extra rest. Still, my back's still a little bit sore, but not as bad as it's been, and I think the rest is helping. And it's been nice to kind of feel like I was taking a day off without actually taking a day off, and nice to find something different to write about. So I think I've mentioned that a few times, just kind of a break, because I stress too much and I don't need to, and I think I hyper focus sometimes on things, and then I set strict deadlines and I don't meet them, and I beat myself up, and then doing all that 100 days of gratitude, and those gratitude things have stuck with me, and I think I still said something I'm grateful for in every single video, which puts me up to like, what, 148 now? Except that that's not where my focus is, but it helps me to find things about myself that I like, to have a better perspective of myself, of my life, of the talents that God has given me. And it was just, I don't know, I just wrote in my journal and that thought popped into my head to do a poem about me. And so not only did I write it, but now I get to share it with everyone else and be like, hey, which is me being outstanding, because I'm learning to stand out. I'm learning that it's okay to just put myself out there. And because as I accept myself for who I am, then I can allow other people to accept me for who I am. And I can believe that you actually accept me for who I am, instead of feeling like it's a facade because I'm hiding who I am from the rest of the world. And I've spent a lifetime hiding from the rest of the world and not speaking up for myself, not saying when I was uncomfortable, not sharing what I was thinking. And and then every once in a while I'll say something and it just totally surprises people, like, oh, that was in your head? And I was like, should I not have said that? And they're like, oh no, that's okay, that's great. Or they're just like, okay, you're having a bad day, aren't you? And I was like, I don't know, okay. But anyway, it was just kind of fun today. I don't really have anything else to say. But maybe it is good to always take a minute to stop and look at yourself and see, hey, what good things do I have today? Especially when you're having a hard day or you've had a hard week. What things went right? What things went good? And what good qualities do you have? And can you use those qualities to get out of or get through whatever is going on? And for me, marvelous. Wonder Woman, who doesn't want to be a superhero, right? Sometimes I don't. But sometimes I feel like I am, and I think that's okay. I think it's fun, and I love the make-believe. The Mr. Rogers thing is always a make-believe time, but I live in my own little made-up world. And I know there's a difference between reality and between the stories and the made-up place in my head, but I get to share my made-up world, my make-believe, in my books. So when they get published, and I'm saying when because at some point that is my goal, you'll get to see into my little made-up world, just like when you watched Mr. Rogers and did the make-believe and the puppets and all of those things. It was fun. So anyway, just grateful to be able to do this video tonight and for the fun new insights that I was able to put into some kind of silly poem format. And if you haven't ever done a name poem, you should try it. It's lots of fun because you could do that to make a card to give to a friend or someone, or you can do it about yourself and then you can hang it up on your wall and look at it and say, hey, these are the great qualities that I have. But always when doing one of these poems, you should always try to write nice things or silly things or inside joke things that only you would get or only the person you're giving it to would get. But it's a fun little thing that you can do. And maybe I don't know if you're watching this at Christmas time because it's Christmas time, but it's always something fun to do for birthdays or Christmas. In fact, I did that for my brother last year because he said he didn't need anything for Christmas. He didn't want anything. He had everything he wanted and he had money to buy whatever he wanted. So I was like, okay, that doesn't help me any at all. And then he wanted me to just send him a list of like movies and TV shows, suggestions of things that he could get himself or watch himself. And I was like, okay. So I sent him a list of stuff. And then I thought, what else can I do for my brother? So I sent him an email and I attached a poem that was just basically like this for him. And I just did his name. And then I said, I love you. And I did like for the ILO, love you. I did the same thing. And that he really appreciated that. I think he said it made him tear up just a little bit when he read that. So it's really nice to share that, to see other people that way. And I think, this made me tear up a little bit myself when I was doing it for myself. And I've never done it for myself before. So that was a fun little experiment tonight. And I'm grateful I got to do that. And I'm grateful I get to do these videos. And I think that's all I have. So I hope you have a great day full of gratitude. And I hope maybe you do a little bit of writing. And it's okay to experiment and have fun with that too. Thank you.